Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and patch 10.15 is fast approaching, arriving to the live realms in less than 2 weeks, which leaves us with a limited time left to decide on which class we may be playing in this future update. While 10.15 is one of the smaller content updates for World of Warcraft, it does bring with it a ton of new major class changes, from its newest spec of Augmentation Evoker to the massive talent revamps for mages and paladins, new druid and warlock class adjustments, as well as many more other smaller yet impactful class updates, with every new week bringing even more of these adjustments to the PTR for testing. This week is no different, with a ton of more work being put into finalizing our classes for raids and dungeons, together with additional changes arriving to the PvP endgame content. So in today's video, I wanted to cover all of the most important changes arriving with this most recent PTR build, to help you keep up to date with all the Dragonflight classes you may find yourself playing with the release of 10.15. But right before we get into this update video, most of you guys watching these are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get more regular content regarding all of the newest Dragonflight updates and changes going forward. Over the last few weeks, we've seen a ton of changes targeting hybrid healing DPS classes. Playstyles like Retribution Paladins, Shadow Priests, Feral Druids, and others with access to single target healing, as well as group-wide healing cooldowns. Most of these updates have been focused on adjusting their team-wide value, as well as changing the resource economy to make sure that healers continue to play a core role in supporting their allies without being outshined by their hybrid playstyles. This week we see even more hybrid changes, where all hybrid specs lose mana regeneration to further limit their off-healing capabilities. Next, let's go over the specific class changes arriving this week, starting with a small update to the class of Evoker. The talent of Scarlet adaptation has been bolstered, storing 40% more total power, which is released when you cast your next Living Flame against an enemy target. A change which helps amplify Preservation Evoker's damage, while encouraging off-healing and self-healing for devastation, which makes these support skills a bit more rewarding to cast. Arcane Mages are getting even more buffs this week, with the Arcane Barrage baseline damage increased by roughly 6%. Also, Barrage no longer has a 3-second cooldown, which has been a regular feature of Arcane Barrage over the last few expansions. This allows Arcane Mages to spam Barrage infinitely, which will drastically increase their mobility and has some specific niche uses within PvP. This change comes as more Arcane Mages begun to embrace the newest adapted capstone trait of Orb Barrage, where Arcane Barrage has a 10% chance per arcane charge consumed to launch out an arcane orb at your targets, which can sometimes create a unique rotational loop, where each barrage has a chance to create an arcane orb which instantly refills you with resources, which allows you to mortar your targets with consecutive uses. This combination has the possibility of being quite potent, and could result in Arcane Mages getting incredible value in cleave and AoE situations. The spec of Fire Mage also gains additional firepower this week, with Pyroblast, Fireball, and Ignite dealing additional damage, with the newest talent of Intensifying Flame finally becoming available for testing, encouraging aggressive use of Ignite in smaller target and single target encounters. Frost Mages get additional changes as well, with Ice Sense getting additional damage improvements and Chain Reaction value doubled, likely to encourage the use of Ice Sense so it doesn't fall behind for Frost Mages rotationally. Flurry loses some of its value, and its damage with Brain Freeze amplification has also been reduced. The newest capstone of Coldest Snap has created some awkwardness within Frost Mage's rotation, at least in single target encounters. To alleviate some of the single target awkwardness, Coldest Snap will require you to Cone of Cold at least 3 or more targets in order to gain its ability reset bonus. Lastly, the talent of Ebb and Bolt is set to retire from here on out, with Frost gaining even more talent changes, some of which offer even more rotational depth and complexity. Makes the talent of Ebb and Bolt much harder to incorporate because it results in a less than satisfying gameplay. Therefore, Ebb and Bolt is being removed from the Frost Mage's talent tree with the release of the patch 10.15. The spec of Holy Paladin has gained even more talent tree changes this week, with the talent of Sanctified Wrath making a return, positioned in the same row as Awakening, which allows for playstyle choice and variety. The talent of Awakening cost has also been reduced down to a single talent point, which helps with the talent economy. Its combat effect can be released upon building up to 12 stacks of Awakening. The talent of Aura of Mercy baseline healing has also been greatly improved, which offers up better group-wide healing. Finally, Beacon of Virtue can now support 4 additional allies instead of 3, which greatly improves its viability in smaller AoE group content like Mythic Plus dungeons. This week also features even more class PvP changes, starting with even more incentives added to help improve the queuing experience of Solo Shuffle Arena mode, which is often quite long due to the much lower representation of healers in queue compared to its DPS counterparts. To help encourage more healer participation, healers will be awarded with a Field Medic's Hazard Payout, which contains a variety of goodies, one of which is a new item called the Medal of Conquest, a bind on account item, which will award your alts with 30 conquest upon use, helping you gear out your undergeared characters, with likely even more incentives announced over the next few weeks. So far, the PvP community has been fairly vocal when it comes to this set of changes, with most agreeing that incentives for healers for solo queue are warranted, as it would improve the overall arena experience. Some have suggested that large sums of gold could be an ideal solution, and even maybe PvP saddles for any healers looking to fill out their mount collection, as well as other rewards to encourage greater healer participation. So I want to pass it off to you guys in the comments down below. What rewards and incentives would you like to see healers gain for solo queue in the patch 10.1.5? Next, we have even more updates for the augmentation evokers within PvP, starting with their basic gameplay. Part of the augmentation playstyle is to support the allies, buffing their damage output through group-wide empowerments of Ebon Might. In content like raids and dungeons, this playstyle will be focused on supporting your allies primarily, but this focus changes slightly within PvP encounters, where augmentation evokers will be encouraged to have a much more involved gameplay. Casting Ebon Might is also going to substantially improve your own combat abilities, increasing your damage output by 20% within arenas and by 14% within large group battleground instances, with the talent of Born in Flame also redesigned, granting augmentation evokers stacks of Burnout periodically, up to a maximum of 3. Each stack of Burnout reduces the cast time of Living Flame by 100%, which allows you to gain quite a bit more pressure and results in a more active gameplay. The class of Mage has also been able to exceed all expectations during the early PTR testing, often performing incredibly well when it comes to its PvP damage output, and in some cases going way above what most classes are capable of. This week, a lot of the power is being shifted away from some of the talents for all 3 of the Mage specs in order to curb some of the more unexpected damage output. Arcane loses some spell power when casting Arcane Surge within PvP, with your instant cast Arcane Blast seeing a 50% damage reduction when empowered by Presence of Mind instant cast benefits. Fire Mage's major damage amps like Unleash Inferno, the Sun King's Blessing, as well as Wildfire's critical strike value are also further reduced. Even the spec of Frost Mage has not gone unnoticed, as they absolutely disintegrate their targets with Glacial Spikes, one-shots, and terrifying rays of frost damage. Therefore, Cryopathy Ray bolstering talent, Splitting Ice secondary damage benefits, and Glacial Assault damage amps are also seeing some reductions as well. The Holy Paladin's PvP talent of Cleanse the Weak is being redesigned for the patch 10.1.5. When you cleanse an ally out of an affliction, you can also cleanse an additional target within 40 yards of that same affliction that you've just recently removed. Additionally, casting Flash of Light and Holy Light cleanses all diseases and poisons from your current healing target. Lastly, the spec of Holy Priest has also gained additional changes, with the talent of Divine Hymn becoming more powerful within PvP encounters, with its healing effect increased by 75% within arenas and battlegrounds. A new talent of Seraphic Crescendo helps reduce the cooldown of Divine Hymn by 60 seconds, which allows for more overall uses. It also causes him to channel 50% faster, with the hymn's healing bonus effect lasting an additional 10 seconds, making the cooldown far more effective. as per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.